We're on to the next one. Today we have the top 5 maps of Call of Duty World War II. I wouldn't say this is necessarily a super great game, but I do think overall this was a pretty solid Call of Duty game. Pubs were decently fun. I think competitive in this game was really good as well, even though that's not what these map rankings are based off of. First honorable mention, I have the map Egypt. Obviously this wasn't the best map, but it wasn't the worst. It was placed in Egypt and you were fighting among the temple ruins and stuff. It was just kind of a fun map to play on. Second honorable mention, I have the map V2. Once again, not the best map, but not the worst. It was a fun map to play on, smaller. It kind of almost reminded me of Rust almost. Not the kind of the same layout, not the same map, of course, but there's a bunch of areas you could fight around the rocket. You climb up the ladder, go all the way to the top of the rocket, shoot people, kind of like when you climb to the top of the building at Rust. It was a decent amount of fun to play on. At the fifth spot, I have the map Valkyrie. This is more of a dull color map. Oh, actually, this whole game was there wasn't much color to this game. If this game was more colorful, I think this game would have been a lot more well perceived. But besides the fact, Valkyrie was a decent map, 3 lanes. The middle lane was more of the close engagement, close encounters. You could go inside the building, use submachine guns. You can go in the outer lanes, use ARs, whatever you wanted to. I actually had a lot of fun on Valkyrie. Number 4, I don't know if you guys remember this map. I have the map Sandbox. I think this map was actually a lot of fun. Not necessarily for the map itself. Yes, the map itself was good and the concept was better. The concept was a great idea. You guys were fighting in a sandbox and you weren't like players in the game anymore. You were little toy soldiers, the little green soldiers that we used to play with. You were those when you were playing. Great idea. You were those guys fighting each other in the sandbox. It was a fun map. Number 3, I have Ardennes Forest. This map was a great map, really good for competitive as well. Worked for most game modes, search, dom, hardpoint, TDM, whatever you wanted to play on. Could use any gun, sub, SMG, sniper, shotgun, and it was a classic 3 lane map. Literally, you had middle lane, right lane, and left lane. Can't get much better than that. Number 2, I have Saint Marie du Mont. This map was a lot of fun. This map actually had a lot of fun playing search on. It was one of the best search maps in this game. Another 3 lane map, could use any gun. But also this map was one of the few that actually had a few different color tones to it. You know, there was red on the buildings, there was blue, there was the different grass parts of the map. I think this map was a lot of fun, but it's not number 1 in this game. I think the best map in World War II was definitely London Docks. I think this was just the best map overall in this game. It worked for any game mode, like I've said for other maps. But this one, it really did. CTF, Hardpoint, Search, Dom, TDM, whatever you wanted to. Even that mode they tried to add in to replace Uplink, I don't remember what that was called. It might have been called, like, actually, it might have been Gridiron or something, but either way, it probably even worked for that. Any gun. I think the lanes on this were perfect. Right lane, you could go through the little tunnel, middle and left, where you could even go down underneath the docks, climb back up that little building. I think London Docks was the best map in this game. What's your guys' top maps of World War II, and did you think this game was shit and not play it?